Hey guys, what's up? Welcome back to my channel. I just filmed a little get ready with me on this look. It's kind of like my, not really my go-to, but it's a quick, easy, more polished, elevated, everyday type of makeup look. And I love the way the skin looks right now. Like, I've just kind of been loving this soft, velvety finish on the base lately. And this is also a really easy look to recreate. It's very simple. It's just kind of like a nice, elevated everyday makeup look. So we're going to start with priming steps. I have really dry skin year round, but especially now because the seasons are changing and I have allergies and my skin I feel like is just constantly tight and dry. This is the MAC Studio Radiance Primer. I love the formula of this. It's like a dewy base and it leaves the skin so visibly glowy. I've been using this primer for years at this point. It's something that I'll always repurchase, and I carefully apply this around any of the areas where I know I'm prone to extra dryness or where like the makeup could potentially cling. So corners of the nose, I've always got some like dried pesky bits around there, and then honestly going in with just like a little bit extra on my fingertips and tapping that right on the under eye. This primer keeps the base looking really nice and moisturized, glowy, fresh, touchable, plump, but there's not a strong strobe to it, so it doesn't emphasize texture and it just kind of gives you that like juicy looking skin, which we love. So I start off with that, and then for my base, I'm loving like a little bit more of a lighter coverage moment right now. So I love to mix, or sometimes even wear this on its own. It's the MAC Dewy Skin Tint Strobe. I love this on its own. It's very illuminating though, so if I want to kind of mix it with something, I'll either do like a foundation or a skin tint. Today I'm going to use the one from Hourglass. This is the Veil Skin Tint in shade number 10. And I'll do about that much of Veil and about this much of the MAC. I just kind of stipple this in. I mean, it definitely goes on like a tinted moisturizer. You'll see the coverage is very light. So I'll go in and spot conceal just because I do have some post-acne hyperpigmentation that I want to focus on. But like, I love an overall evened out looking complexion. I don't know how I feel about this like squirting products directly onto the face. That's never really been my thing, but sometimes when you want it to be quick, I just do that. Using a little bit of the Chanel bronzer, the cream one, I'm going to put this pretty much all over the base. I like this just for warming up the skin tone all over, so I don't have to be quite as precise as I would with my proper bronzer. It's very light. If I want like a bronzed effect, I'll use the deeper shade, but with this lighter shade, I really like to take this basically from outer corner of the face towards the center of the face, nose, a little bit in that eye area. I mean, really just warming up the entire complexion. Going in with concealer, I'm using the one from Lancome today. This is the all over concealer. I really like this because it kind of dries down a little bit more on the satin matte side. So it doesn't stay particularly like movable. It kind of doesn't need to be set if you have a dry skin type. I'm not going to say it like will never have to be set because I do use powder with it sometimes, but I really like how I can skip powder with this one if I don't feel like wearing it. And then to kind of like brighten specific targeted areas, I really like using just a little bit of the NARS Radiant Cream and just adding a little bit of that extra brightness right on the very underneath, not underneath, but you know, right on the center of underneath the eye. Kind of dry down a bit. I'm just going to run a little bit of a tinted brow gel through my brows. I just like to let my concealer marinate for a moment before I start blending. When my skin is dry, the sponge blends concealer out a little bit nicer. I don't know if that's actually the case, but I've been noticing sometimes when my skin is really dry under those eyes, if I use a brush, it like clings more. And the sponge does a better job at really pushing the concealer into the skin. I'm going to do a really quick eye. I'm using the Urban Decay Naked palette. This was re-released, which I think is so exciting. And I'm just going to do a light, you know, natural brown eye. I just kind of like a soft matte brown all over the lid for every day. I feel like some people can just bang out like a smoky look super quick. I've never been one of those people. It takes me so long to do eyeshadow. It's just never been my forte in all the years I've been wearing makeup. So my favorite just like comfort look for every day is truly just a brown eyeshadow. Just all over the lid, nice and smudgy. I always feel the best in it and it never goes out of style. And then I just go back in with a fluffy brush and kind of blend everything out just to soften the edges. And you know, I was so obsessed with the shade Virgin right here. I feel like that was everybody's favorite. Oh my god, I've been doing my makeup my entire time with this and like wondering why it's foggy. The little plastic thing is still on there. But Virgin was everybody's favorite brow bone highlight and like inner corner highlight. I think that still looks really good. That still looks just as good as I remember it. Let's do bronzer and blush. I'm going to do the Dibs dual-ended blush. This one's in the shade 5.5, which is Iced Chai for the bronzer, and then the blush is in the shade Not So Basic. I have talked about how much I love these so much. They are great for contouring and bronzing with, and the formula of these, it just blends over the skin like butter. It's such a beautiful formula. It does have a really nice kind of like sweet vanilla fragrance to it as well that I'm obsessed with. I feel like I've been talking about Dibs for a while, so I feel like most of you know that I love Dibs, but now you can actually get Dibs at Ulta Beauty. So they have the blush sticks, the highlight, and I know they have the brushes from Dibs for sure. So it's definitely worth checking out. I was so excited to see that Dibs was going to be sold at Ulta. I love Dibs. I think it's one of the best brands I've tried within the past year, that I've actually been really impressed with all of the products that I've tried. See how that just like blends out so easy? I don't even have to be like too precise. It just blends out perfect. Okay, and then the blush is kind of like a peachy color. We're going to use this right on the apples of the cheeks. Then blend that out. Everything just melts into the skin so pretty with Dibs. It's just really beautiful, easy to use cream formulas. I'm kind of bouncing back and forth between the brush and my concealer sponge, just in case I tend to lose a little bit of that concealer with some of the makeup. A little bit of highlight. I'm going to use the Charlotte Tilbury Spotlight Highlight. These are one of those liquid highlights where like they don't stay sticky, so I think that's really nice about it because it's a liquid, so it's going to go and mimic the skin's texture and look a little bit more realistic, more like glistening skin versus like a powdery highlight. And then you don't have to worry about it kind of like moving around. I feel like once these set down, they're pretty good to go, but even if you use a little bit of powder on them, that's really nice too. Just always remember to lock it. I feel like sometimes I forget to do that. Okay, and then just contouring a bit. I'm using the Dior contour stick, just doing a little nose contour. Tap that in place. They're a really nice formula contour. I actually have the shade, if this is 3, then I also have shade number 2. Shade number 2 I use a little bit more as a bronzer. The shade range on it is a little bit different. I kind of would want to go, or I would recommend that you go see it in person, because I blind purchased shade number 2 and it's really warm, so I like to wear it as a bronzer, so you kind of have to see in person what they're going to look like on you so that you get the right shade for your skin tone. Okay, I'm going to take a little bit of eye pencil. This is the Chanel eye pencil in number 66. And I'm just going to smudge that along the top lash line. I also decided to tightline and waterline with this, which is like impossible for me to do on camera because I need to be so close to the mirror. I'm like not even in frame, but I did use this on the tightline and the waterline just to kind of give the eyes a little bit something extra. And I'm going to set this cream blush down with a little bit of a powder one. This is NARS Foreplay. I think this is a really pretty shade to set the cream blush with because it's going to just give it a little bit of a sheen but not take away from that color. So I'm just going to tap that right onto the apple of the cheeks. Let's do a little bit of setting powder. I'm going to use the Hourglass Veil setting powder. Don't forget about this powder. It is still a wonderful powder. I feel like there were so many powder launches in the past couple months, or just like certain powders going viral. And honestly, yes, just a aggressive amount of new powders right now. But the Hourglass Veil, I'm still like, I will always love this powder. It's a really great loose setting powder. It's a really beautiful powder. Just kind of gives you that soft candlelit looking skin. Oh, I forgot how much I love this mascara. I just recently repurchased, and it honestly makes me wonder why I even try other mascaras, because every time I use Dior Show, I am reminded of why I have said for years that this is my absolute favorite mascara ever. But now I really am like, I took a maybe like 6-month break off of it, and I cannot believe I even like bothered with other stuff. It's just the absolute best. And it's a little bit more on the dry side, which I love a dry mascara. I just don't like anything too wet. I love the brush. I feel like once I put mascara on, it just makes the eye look come together. And then I'm just taking this pencil one more time and just going in and filling in all my little freckles. I just like the way it makes the base look a little bit more light coverage. Also, if you have a zit, it's a great way to, it's like a hack. Hide your zit by making it look like a freckle. It makes the process a lot easier. Okay, so I'm gonna start with a lip combo, and I'm going to use Tarte's Dusty Rose. This is the Maracuja Juicy Lip Liner. So I like this because it's a long wear lip pencil. And Dusty Rose, in my opinion, it looks good with like everything. It's a really easy lip liner to pair with other products. Okay, and then Anastasia Cool Brown, just to add some definition. Like, I almost use this as a contour shade, a little bit underneath the lip as well, just like that. And I take my finger. And then this is one of my favorite lip colors for fall. This is Sense from Hourglass. Perfect with like that dark lip liner. So good. Okay, and this is the finished look. It's seriously like just the right amount of powder. I love this kind of like soft focused skin where it's not overly dewy, but it's also not overly matte, and you'll still get the light hitting the skin and causing a little bit of a reflect. It just looks very pretty. So I'm really liking this type of finish right now. I will list and link everything from this video in the description box down below. Let me know if you have any questions and I'll get back to you. And let me know if there's any other specific type of makeup tutorials or beauty videos that you want to see in the near future, and I'll take note of that. Thank you so much for watching this one. I'll see you in my next one. Bye.